Welcome back, guys. As always, I'm Ghostly Snow Demon, and I'm going to be explaining the lore of the history of Auridon, one of the first major land masses in Elder Scrolls Online. Hope you like the video. As always, I stream on every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday on Twitch, so join me there. I always love to talk to you guys. Maybe we can talk more about this video. You can tell me what your views on it and all that stuff, what you thought about it. Welcome back, guys, and here's the history of Auridon. Sorry I mispronounced names. Names are never my strong suit.
Thank the eight. Please.
According to ancient myths and settling the land of Auridon, it was settled by the Altmer from the Aldmerius in the early Mythic era. These ancients made landfall at the northernmost tip of Auridon, later known as the Nine Prows Land. They eventually expanded and colonized the rest of the Somerset Isles. One early explorer was Auridon, who claimed all of Auridon as a new kinhold, fighting with his people against the native Slode and the other inhabitants of the isles. Over thousands of years, these immigrants became the Altmer, creating a robust civilization and exterminating those species they could not subjugate. The native many-eyed forest giants known as the Iliadi, the Getis, and the Welma of Auridon were all killed off in a subsequent skirmishes with the Altmer. With conquering the area, their conquest and struggle, the island ultimately fell into the hands of the elves. By the time of the first stones of the Crystal Tower were laid, the early elves farmed the land, had limited hierarchy political aspirations, and worshipped their ancestors which they believed had descended from the great divines. Despite sharing a common lineage, cracks would form in their pre-existing societal structure. The high nobles would carve out and rule the territories. The wise, the male nobility, consists of the teachers and priests who would study the ancient lore and apply their knowledge to society. The artisans were the artists, farmholders, and merchants, and the soldiers. But lastly was their largest class of all, the workers, comprising of the peasants, laborers, foreigners, and the goblin slaves.
I said don't mind me.
As there were many organizations throughout all of Auridon, we're going to start with the one in 2E 2030. The king of Firsthold, Rillis XII, met with Vanus Galarian in the Charter Conclave for approving the establishment of the Mages Guild. By 2E 580, Auridon would be part of the First Dominion led by Queen Irene, who was determined to see Elven rule throughout all of Tamriel in the Great War. However, long-held prejudice against the Dominion's allies, the Wood Elves and Khajiit, coupled with the aggressive recruitment practices against the lower class, resulted in a popular resistance movement, the Veiled Inheritance, led by High Kingly Estri, Irene's sister-in-law, taking up arms in Auridon. Among the many organizations in Auridon, the Tribute monks are known for the good they do for the peasants as they value tradition above all others. Their credo was been for pure ultimate bloodlines on Somerset and among royal families most of all. During the Third Era, the monks worked with Lady Galeen, daughter of the King of Skywatch, to start a revolution against the Dunmer Queen of Firsthold, Morgana. Despite the growing resentment in the countryside from peasants who called Morgana the Black Queen, they stopped short of insurrection. The Revolutionary Army was primarily composed of the monks themselves and hordes of mercenaries. The revolt ended in a panicked, unorganized retreat. After Lady Galeen was tortured and confessed her treachery, she was sent back as an escort to her father's court of Skywatch. And later on, Auridon was part of the Tiber Septon's Third Empire, the only empire in history to conquer the entirety of Tamriel. By 4E22, Auridon had become part of the Third Altmer Dominion, and the Somerset Isles were renamed Eleanor. These kings, queens, and countrymen that did not assent to the Thalmar's rise to power would be rooted out, exiled, and killed. Hope you guys like that little history lesson on Auridon. I know I did, and I hope you guys did too. See you all next guild meeting.